Today our in-service is about quality improvement. Can I sit down? Okay. And that's what my job is. That's what I work in.
Yeah.
Can anybody here explain what quality improvement is here in VNA? Do you know what I do? Or what those involved in quality improvement do?
Just to make sure everything's running smooth. If there's something wrong, you would try to fix it and let us know what's going on. Help us out.
Okay.
Is it a yay or a nay? Right?
Well, yeah, basically what we do is we try to make things better. We're always trying to improve. I mean, we're doing a good job, I think. I think we're doing a great job. You guys all do great jobs, but you can always make things even better. And we have agencies that come in and assess us and give us like a report card and tell us how we're doing. And they always find something that they think that we can do even better. And when they do that, that makes us have to do a little more work. We have to make some changes, and we have to make changes, and it creates more work for us to get things going a little better. So I wanted to explain to you, I don't know if you remember, I think it was like, it might have been the spring that we had a survey. Do you remember hearing about the ACHC survey that we had where they came in and it was the Accreditation Commission for Healthcare. They came in and did a survey. Yes, they might have gone out with some of you, I don't know, and observed you. They were really nice, but they looked at all of the aspects of hospice, and they said we did a great job, but there were a few things that there's always room for improvement, right? So I just wanted to share with you some of the things that we had to do with home health aides. I thought you might be interested. One of the things that they found is that on the aid assignment, we were, how we were on the aid assignment, it said that, we couldn't have a PRN on the aid assignment where it said that for a shampoo, for example, the patient could have, you could shampoo the patient's hair, PRN, or as per request of the patient caregiver. That's considered a PRN, and according to Medicare, you can't use PRNs on the home health aid assignment. So I don't know if you noticed, but we had to make changes to the home health aid assignment and take that out. You didn't notice? Yeah, so that was taken out.
Some of them still have it though. Some of them still have it. By patient
They say
request.
per patient request.
Yeah, some of them still have it.
Okay, if some of them have them, okay, you can tell me what those are. They're probably really old ones that haven't been updated, and I haven't caught those because they have to be updated. So if you come across those, email me and tell me the name of the patient,
Okay.
and I'll go in there and have the nurse, because our IT person Vicki went in and changed that so that they can't do that anymore. That would be a home health aid assignment template. That was from a long time ago before ACHC came in. So we need to get that changed. Okay, and then the other one was, and this doesn't really relate to you, this relates to the RN, and that is that the evidence, there has to be evidence that the case manager or RN supervises the aide every 14 days. Are you aware of that Medicare regulation? No? Yeah. Yeah, there's in the RN, when the RN makes a visit, she pulls in a screen that has the home health aide supervised visit, and it has questions about is the aide following the plan of care? That means your assignment. What kind of things are they doing? Is the patient and caregiver satisfied with the care being given? Does the home health aide communicate well with the patient? Are there any changes that need to be made? Should the home health aide services be continued? Okay, so if you want to just write down the name for me, I'll take care of it. And that's supposed to be done every 14 days. Well, in order to make that compliant, what we did is we want the nurses and the RNs to know that they're supposed to do that every visit. That way we make sure that it's every 14 days. So every visit, they're supposed to do that. Okay. So those are the two things that we're doing right now for corrections for that ACHC survey. So that's a quality improvement, and those are Medicare regulations. That home health aide supervised visit is a Medicare regulation, and it is one of the top 10 survey deficiencies that surveys find. It's because it's kind of hard to keep that up and keep it compliant. On our regular chart review, we also look to make sure that the aide assignment is updated as per the patient's needs when they change. So like maybe when you start out with your patient, a new patient might be getting a shower, but as their condition changes and they get weaker, they need a bed bath because they're too weak to get into the shower. So on our chart review, we're looking for that to see that the nurse is changing the care plan to accommodate the patient's change in condition. And then another thing is that we look to make sure that the frequency matches the plan of care. So if the admission nurse or the nurses, they order how often the home health aide sees the patient for their home health aide services. It might be 3 times a week or 2 times a week. And so that's checked to see if it's followed. So if it's ordered 3 times a week and then we see that the home health aide's only gone 2 times a week, then the next thing we want to know is why was that visit missed. So we'll look to see if, in mobile care, was the visit refused. And also there should be a note in the case communication note, because your protocol is if the visit's refused, you call into Jocelyn, and then Jocelyn in case communication in McKesson makes a note that the patient refused. You put in your note why the patient refused, and then she puts in a note that it was refused, and then we're okay. But if the patient misses a visit and nothing's in there, then we're not okay. That's a deficiency. Okay, so when there's a problem that we need to address, when we need to make some improvements in something that's not going well, there's three ways to improve a problem. First, we have to identify that there's a problem, and then we have to have a plan to come up with a solution, and then we implement changes, and then we evaluate. So that's 3. And then we evaluate. And that's what we've been doing. Because when I first started out with auditing for the aide assignment and for the supervised visits, I had to do, every month I had to do 10% of our admissions, and I had to keep on doing 10% until we reached what they call a target threshold of 100%. And once those 10% were 100%, then I could just do 10% of the charts for a quarter. That's 3 months, right? And so we're on that now, and watching that. So that's just an idea of what I do with the home health aides. There's a whole bunch of other things, areas on the chart and things within the agency that we look at in quality improvement. And there, we have a committee, and we call it, Medicare requires this too, we call it our QAPI program. So if you ever hear QAPI, QAPI, and that's Quality Assurance Performance Improvement Program, and that's where all of the utilization review, the directors of hospice, because there's a QAPI program for hospice. So the directors of hospice, sometimes the CEO comes. Then we have a director of performance improvement now, and that's Corey Bly. If you know who Corey Bly is. Yeah, she's the director. And so we all get together, and we have a director of regulatory affairs for VNA, and so we all get together and discuss all of the chart audits and the things that are findings, and if we see things where there's deficiencies, we come up with a plan of what we're going to do to try to improve those areas. Okay, so we look at falls, we look at infections, any complaints, a lot of different things, the results of chart audits and other things that we're tracking. Okay. There's several organizations that are concerned with quality improvement in healthcare, and I'm just mentioning them because they're on the quiz. And one's called Agency for Healthcare Research and Quality. The acronym is AHRQ, and you can find it on the web. AHRQ defines quality as, quote, doing the right thing at the right time for the right person and having the best possible result. So you want to remember that. Doing the right thing at the right time for the right person and having the best possible result. Yeah, that's on the quiz, but we'll go over it. Different places, workplaces that manage quality go by different kind of names, so you might hear different names for quality improvement. Some places call it QI for quality improvement. Some call it CQI for continuous quality improvement. Some PI for performance improvement. TQM for total quality management. So the truth about quality improvement is that in healthcare, quality can't always be measured by how quickly clients get well. Because you know that not all clients or patients get well because of, what we work with. But hospice employees care for people who are dying. It would be unfair to measure quality of hospice care based on how many clients get well and go home. Instead, there's other measurements, such as is spiritual counseling offered, and how comfortable our patients are at the time of death. Also, spending a lot of money on client care does not guarantee good quality. Think about it, it can cost up to $30,000 to heal just one bed sore. And if a client falls and breaks a hip, it can cost up to $35,000. Preventing these problems would cost much, much less. And changing the way things are done does not necessarily mean that the old way was wrong. Sometimes there's a better way to do something. Even though the old way was wrong, there's a better and a quicker and a more efficient way to do something. There's always a reason for change. Quality improvement is a responsibility for every employee. So even if a workplace has a special QI nurse or a large QI committee, all employees are still responsible for doing their best to improve. Okay, so I talked about already the four basic steps for quality improvement. Identification, that's identifying a problem. Planning, that's the second step. Implementation, the third step. Evaluation, the fourth. And the quality improvement process is a continuous cycle. Even after you've solved one problem, then you go on to another. So it just keeps going on and on and on. It never stops. You've never solved all of them. Whenever we have to make changes in the workplace, even though they might, turn out to be really good for us, it still causes us stress, and we might get angry, we might get confused, we might get anxious, we might get angry. Those are normal feelings when we have to change. I can remember, because I've been a nurse since I graduated from college in 1974, so you can see how long I've been a nurse. And so I've seen a lot of changes along the way. And I remember how stressful it was when the computer first came out. It was very, very stressful. And now, now it's just wonderful. And then, yeah. And then when I go into a hospital and I see the electronics nowadays compared to what I used back then, I see a patient, because I worked in intensive cardiac care when I first went into nursing, and we'd have to take blood pressures with the cuff every 5 to 15 minutes. And now you look and see the patients are, they're wired up to a monitor that takes their blood pressure automatically as often as you want to. The nurse doesn't have to run in there. They just look at the screen and there's everything. Their O2 saturation, their heart rate, their respirations. I think, wow, that's amazing. Just amazing. So, it's really not acceptable not to change, because we can always make things better and more efficient. But when we're faced with it, it's very, very difficult. Okay. I actually wasn't expecting that they were going to take 30 minutes. Didn't even know they were going to be talking. So I had an activity. We're probably not going to get to that activity. But one thing we might be able to do really quick, because I just wanted to go over some documentation. We've done this before, and it's always good to go over it again. So I'm just going to pass out a telephony care, your telephony documentation, and I want you to look at it. I'm going to have each of you take one. I'll split it up here. Take one and pass it. Take one and pass it. And I want you to take a look at it. Now, I've blacked out the names. You don't know whose it is. You don't know the patient or the home health aide that did it. But I want you to take a look at it. And I want you to see if you can see any of the documentation that looks a little unusual. You can notice at the top I wrote down whether there was a mobile care note or not that goes with it. So at the top you can look and see, it should say, I'll tell you. They're all numbered. So if you have a number 1, there is a note, a mobile care note that says, that reports that there's a reddened area to the heel.
We don't have any.
Is there any more left? Number 2, there's no mobile care note. Number 3, no mobile care note. Number 4, no mobile care note. But number 1, there is one, and it says that there's a reddened heel. That's all that it reports. So look through the documentation and see if you see anything that looks unusual.
Oh.
Anybody see anything yet?
Like 472,
Which
the
one?
front, the first page, or
What's the number of yours?
472? Or I'm number 3 at the top.
Number 3, and it's 472.
Are you saying like how it has completed right there, and then on the other side it says refused? Or is that going with that one, or is that the 470 one?
This one, no, that was
Oh, okay.
470.
Yeah.
602,
What is it?
602,
Oh,
What number are
it
you,
says
what's at
completed,
the top of your page, that number?
number 2,
Number 2, and what do you see?
report signs of skin pressure skin completed, but there is no note in the back.
The back page?
Yeah, I mean, if there is no note, they should have a note where the pressure is. Is 602?
Oh, yes, 602. Okay, those of you that have number 2, number 602 on page 2, where it says report signs of pressure, skin breakdown to RN case manager, it says completed. So what would you expect to see with that?
A note to the case
No.
manager?
Yes, and there's no mobile care note. But also on that first page, there's some more.
On number 2? Are you talking?
Yes, on number 2.
Okay,
If you have number 2,
talking about 150?
no,
No, okay.
this is,
For 155?
yes, 151. It says completed.
Oh.
154 and 155. Yeah.
Yes, 151, 154, and 155. So
It
this
should
is,
put no issue to report.
Right.
And should
right, it should be not completed, no issue to report for those 3. This is when I'm doing audits sometimes, I don't know if the person is confused on
Understanding
this
it, yeah.
or
Not
just went through it real fast. Because that is on the precautions, the only time that's completed is if when there was an issue and so you should have a mobile care note, right? So that means you probably, for O2 precautions, means that either the oxygen sign was not present or there was some issue with the patient smoking or open flame or some hazard there for the oxygen, right?
But the completed is correct as long there is a note, right? Because if there's no sign, that should be completed
Right,
with the note.
yes.
Okay.
It's if everything's okay, it needs to be
Then
not
it's not
completed.
completed, exactly.
For the aspiration precautions, it should be,
No issue to report if you have nothing to report about that, right?
not completed if there's nothing to report. Right? And with aspiration precautions, it's not completed if there's nothing to report, right?
So it's the
Well,
same
for
like
us,
just
it's-
issues to report?
Yeah.
No issue to report, which is gonna be
It's the
not,
same.
which
No
is
completed, no
not
issues to
complete.
report, okay. Yes.
How about number 3? Page 3.
Number
On,
page.
Yeah.
paint
It
level 200?
has, yeah, 3, the front page. It's from 472, I mean, it says there, patient refused, and it said they're completed, and it should put refused. I mean, a lot of the stuff in the front page is wrong.
What number you
Am I
have?
right? 3,
Oh, okay.
Oh, on number 3,
yeah. The first page, the front page,
the front page,
yeah, and then there's no notes in the back, and then,
and what number are you looking at?
for some reason. Okay,
On the front
completed.
page, 200?
There's 200, and then the last one, 472. You see it,
No,
it
it's
says completed
for
on
dressing.
addressing, and then she says refused.
No, that's for the
That goes with the
470.
one above 470.
Oh, what the heck? I don't know what I'm talking about.
200, that's the incorrect one. Pain
Okay.
management, notify the nurse if pain level is above 6 on the pain scale. That was completed. There should be a mobile care note where they could notify the nurse, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, as far as I could see on that was the only one on number 3 that was incorrect, that was
Really?
something
Yeah.
went wrong.
Yeah.
They have,
Oh, they
this
have
is
it.
what they, one line. So
And
you
then
don't
on
have
number
to-
1,
They should be
On the-
the same thing.
on the number 1 documentation, 157,
Last
on the
PM.
front page, no BM, that was completed. There should have been a note and a mobile care note with follow-up to the case manager that the patient hadn't had a BM, along with a note about pain, right? And then on the second page, 474 regarding the catheter, empty the catheter drainage bag, it says not completed. But if it wasn't completed, there should have been a reason other than no issue to report.
Or can you put, unable to do in your notes, patient doesn't have catheter?
Oh,
Something
that-
to that effect.
If that's what it was.
True. Okay.
Of course.
And if the patient didn't have a catheter, then the nurse needs to change the assignment.
It says with the patient, a toilet, and it's a bedbound patient, okay? It says assist with a toilet, they can't get up, they're in the bed all the time, and he's already wet. You know, he's already wet, so I'm kinda like, what do you put? He's already went, he already went,
If the patient has an, BM on the
the task
diaper,
already done, I mean,
on the
he's done
diaper,
it
is
already.
considered assist with the toilet too, same thing or not?
It's already done, if there's nothing in the bag.
No, but I'm
Like,
talking about.
just say for having a BM, if he's having a BM, bedbound
When you
patient,
say assist
can't get
patient
up.
with the toilet.
Go ahead. I'll wait for you.
It's kind of confusing when they say assist patient with the toilet.
That means you put them on the toilet.
You put them on the
Yeah, but
toilet,
they're bedbound.
but if the
But he's
patient has
bedbound.
a big accident on the bed and you stick in it, it's different?
No, you
That's
should,
not assisted.
Are we
with
talking
the-
about the same one? This is a catheter.
no,
You're asking me another question?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
brought up toileting, where
they're
it says
toilet,
assist with
okay,
toilet.
it's just for toilet, but this is a bedbound patient,
Yeah,
okay? He's already had his BM, he's in the bed.
Yeah.
So what do you put?
That's the question, yeah.
Task already done, cause he's
I
already
say
done it.
unable to do.
Well, he's
patient
already,
is
he's already
bedbound,
done
we
it,
don't
so you
get it
can't
on
help
the
him, he's already done it, he's in the bed, this is like
Yeah.
5 days a week, he's already done it.
yeah,
So,
yeah, I think that's best. way.
task's already done.
Yeah.
So there's no assistance, because he can't get up, he's not able to, or he's in the bed, he's bedbound, so.
How do you-
Yeah.
Is that
No issue to
is that a toilet or that is
Yeah.
You're not putting
incorporated?
them on the toilet.
Yeah, I think either would be fine. No issue to report.
Well, I tell the case manager, can take that one off of the bedbound anyway. Can't get that to put them on the toilet.
Yeah,
So
then
they take it off.
if they're bedbound, he's not going to the toilet, then they need to fix the care plan.
Exactly, so it's not a toilet, it's
Like if
incorporated.
the catheter's empty, you don't need to do anything, you just.
Task already done.
And just one more thing about the hair, okay? Comb the hair, because she said we can't put no issue because if the patient's bald. I mean, what are you gonna comb?
Unable to
it?
do
I have no
it,
issue.
and
Then
there's
that's
no
not
patient
inappropriate
bald.
on the, that's inappropriate on the care plan.
They all have it.
They will have it.
Blow dry.
Same thing for everybody.
So the whole clock, y'all.
Are we allowed to blow dry?
They put-
I wanna know.
They could assist patient with ambulate, and
there's
then
no
assist
skin
patient with
issue, yeah.
ambulate device, and the patient don't even walk, and they have those two
They've been
questions.
rounded out.
Because that's what they're saying, we gotta put something, it's like, well,
They don't
unable
have
to
to.
complete task for other reason, what's the reason? He's bald, so he can't comb his hair.
Yeah, you can put that one. They won't do anything because the patient is bald. So you have to put
That's
it
why you
right.
wanna be
That's the
there
right
every
answer.
day, every time you
That's the
walk.
right
Just put
answer.
no hair.
That's the right choice.
Every time you
Unable
walk.
to complete
Yeah.
tasks.
In my mind, the nurse needs to
That should
fix
never
the
be
care
there.
plan, that's.
Exactly.
That's-
That's the
Bingo.
care plan.
Yes.
Okay, if it's
It
bald.
says brushness here.
That's
I
not
have
bald.
noticed. I think that is special to
So,
appropriate.
if you run into that, email me and tell me, and I'll contact the nurse and tell them.
Okay.
And there,
I have a patient who I've been seeing for about 6 months. And he has a colostomy bag,
Yeah.
and he never has it. Who has seen the patient with me? And he's still there, colostomy bag. She didn't even have it.
Only back two.
She hasn't even had it in
Yeah.
her life.
She doesn't even have, never had it?
She never had it.
why they never, why you never told
And
them?
not till
Yeah,
now.
why don't, did you tell the nurse?
But even if you call them and tell them, they will say, okay,
Yes.
then it's.
Then tell me,
Tell her.
tell me.
There is
I'll tell
another
the nurse.
patient that I haven't seen for I don't know how long, and it says transfer, and the patient is bedbound, and maybe that's Doris Bruce Doris.
What?
It says transfer, no?
Yes.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
and
Yeah.
We're being
She's
recorded,
bedbound.
we can't use patients' names.
that's okay.
There's a lot of,
It's almost 4.
there's a lot of notes.
We need to take it.
We need to take it out from the care plan, especially those bedbound patients. If they know the patient is bedbound, they just still put the patient with toileting, with transfer.
Yeah.
How
And
can
we
you
still
transfer a bedbound patient if they just not wanna go anywhere? Because they are bedbound. But I don't think.
Let's call Mr. Jose.
They need to take it out, transfer it out.
In my opinion, at every research, the nurse should be reviewing the
Everything,
the
right?
care plan and
Exactly.
updating it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because they'll leave shower and bed bath on the care plan
No, it shouldn't.
forever. They should be taken off when they're putting the new one on, right? All right. And then they'll put,
They need us to do
That's
that.
why she is asking if you see something like that, that is really
Yeah,
not
tell me.
necessary.
If you're not getting anywhere, tell me, I can get somewhere with it.
who are you gonna be getting?
Oh, we're gonna be. We're all gonna be.
Well,
So like, we can print out.
Let's start doing it, folks.
I know.
Okay, it's almost 4.
You can start
Here's
doing
here, the list for the patient.
okay. Be sure that you put your name on it and your signature, and I'll sign as a supervisor, and when you're done with it, we'll do the test together, then when you're done, you gotta do the evaluation on the back. Okay, number 1, only organizations with poor reputation should be concerned about quality improvement.
False.
False, that's correct. Number 2, the first step in the quality improvement process is designing a plan to improve a problem. False.
False.
Identify.
See the one?
Number 3, once a problem is solved, the QI process ends.
False.
Number 4, when faced with change, some people feel angry, anxious, confused, or sad.
True.
5, some areas that commonly need improvement in healthcare include safety and infection control, competence and
All of the
all of the above.
All of the above.
Number 6, quality of care for any healthcare organization must be measured against official written standards or rules. True. Number 7, quality should be measured by how many people get well and go home after care.
False.
Number 8, implementing the plan is the third step of the QI process. True. Number 9, when a change is planned at your workplace, it means you did something wrong. False. Number 10, fill in the blanks. AHRQ defines quality as doing the right thing,
At the
right time, for the right person, and having the best possible result.
Got it.
Got it. before you leave, be sure and turn these, that I passed out, these documentations, so I can shred them. Just put them in a pile.